Hey everyone, in this video we'll be working on maxing URL. And also is also an awareness video of how malicious hacker marks their URL to convince you to click on a link and see that it's correct to click on a link. And also this video is for educational purpose only. I won't be responsible for any damage you do with this method. So let's jump on this. So I uploaded a Python code on GitHub in which we are going to use, that's with the security max URL detect. The link is on the YouTube profile, and also I'm going to paste the link also on the description below. So it will be there. We are on the page now, which is github.com with the security max URL detect. Then this is quite simple to install. Just clone it and we are going to run some other things. So first, what I'm going to do first is I'll click on code and I'll click copy. As copy to clipboard, or you can just drag it. So anyone's better. So I'm going to go to my terminal, or Kali terminal. Going to increase, then I git clone. That's just want to clone the repository. You have Kali, download it, then click enter. So now our file is downloaded, which is a max URL detect. So I'm going to cd into max URL detect. So we are in. So let me list it. So you can see the files, all the files that was here. You can see it here. So what I'm going to do first, now you can see that in this code, there is, in this file, there is license maxurl py readme.md requirement.txt. This requirement.txt is very important. So in order for you to install some modules, which if you run this, it might tell you that it needs so to install. It needs so to install. If you are not using Kali, or you are using even Ubuntu, you are using many other type of Linux, because there are a lot of Linux out there. So they may not have that Python module. So what I'm going to do first from start is we are going to install PIP. So PIP is just like a package manager, in which we are going a Python package manager. So I'm going to sudo apt get install PIP and put my password, which is going to get installed. Mine is installed. Yours might take time, but mine is installed already. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use the package manager to install all the modules inside the requirement.txt. So I pip install har, then requirements.txt. Then it's going to install all requirements, so you don't need to worry. It's going to just install everything. So when you are running the Python file, normally it's not going to give you issues. So I'm going to clear, then list again. Then now let's run our Python file. So the Python file is written in Python 3, not Python 2. So I'm going to use Python 3, then maxurl.py. So maxurl detect.py, then I click on enter. So now it's loaded and it's working very fine. So I'm going to use a normal website for this. An attacker mostly will use his websites in an hosting provider website in which he hosted his pages on. Hosted his page on and is hosting it using the domain and so many other things. So it's going to have a domain. So the domain will be hosting his page. So it's going to paste his URL here, which you want to mask. So let's assume in this video now, our phishing URL is google.com. So let's assume that. Then I'm going to put https then google.com. Then I press enter. Then how to enter the maxing URL. Now maxing URL is what you want the person to see. That means let's just call the maximum URL the initial. So what is going to see first? But there is a lot. There are like two limitations in this. First is when the when the max URL loads on the browser, it's going to redirect back to the original one. And number two, the last subdomain or URL there. Okay, we are going to get there. The number two, I'm going to explain it now. So now let's enter the maxing URL. So let's assume our maxing URL is https facebook.com. Then now it's telling us to enter a white space. Let's say want to convince the victim buy a new car, or you've won a race, or free verification. Let's say free verification. Then I press enter. Then we are going to hold on for a while for it to max the URL. So good. So you can see now it has maxed our URL, which is https://facebook.com. So now the second one I talked about, the limitation, is this is GD Jack Beef. So someone who is very technical in security is going to see this, and it's going to be a red flag for the person. So I'm not going to click on it. So now let's copy this. Then now in this section, checking if your URL is blacklisted. So this is just a normal it just uses VirusTotal API key. So you are probably using VirusTotal also. So just to make it easier, make it good. So that's why you can add your API key and check your URL if it's blacklisted or not. So I'm going to go to my browser. So let's imagine we have maxed our URL, and this is the convincing URL. So I send it to the victim. Then I'm going to paste and go. Then it will ask us yes. Then you can see google.com. So simple and easy. So it's going to redirect from Facebook. It redirected through google.com. Just mark the URL. So it uses a URL shortener. So it marks the URL and move to www.google.com. So very easy. So it's just to convince, the aim of this is just to convince the person to see the URL first and see, oh, this is facebook.com, and yes, this is where I'm logging in. And imagine it's being thought of typo spotting and all those things. You can see, if you check the Facebook very well here, you can see it's perfect. http://facebook.com. So there's no typo spot. So it's just to bypass the first initial of checking if the URL is legitimate or not. So that is it. So this video is just for awareness, and also just to teach you on how malicious hacker does this, and also it's for educational purpose only. Thank you, and subscribe for more.